Introduction: the hidden truth about attraction. Have you ever wondered why certain women seem to effortlessly captivate men who appear to be completely out of their league? These women might not be the most conventionally beautiful, they might not have perfect social media lives, yet they possess something that makes them absolutely irresistible. What is this mysterious quality that you might not have discovered yet? The answer might surprise you because it has nothing to do with physical appearance, designer clothes, or memorized pickup lines. It's something far more profound and infinitely more powerful. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, understood this perfectly. True feminine magnetism lies in the ability to create genuine emotional connections, in knowing how to reach a man's soul before ever touching his body. Once you understand and internalize this fundamental truth, everything in your romantic life will begin to shift dramatically. Breaking free from limiting beliefs, many women have been conditioned from childhood to believe that attracting a man requires physical perfection. We're told we must wait passively to be desired, pursued, or chosen. But here's a transformative truth that will change your entire approach to relationships. You don't need to start with the physical to win someone's complete devotion. In fact, when you learn to connect with the deeper dimensions of a person's being, something far beyond surface-level attraction, they will surrender completely without even understanding why. This isn't manipulation, it's authentic connection at its highest level. The real center of desire. Do you know where a man's true center of desire actually resides? It's not where popular culture has led you to believe. It's not in the physical realm at Ulitz in his mind. That's where genuine longing is born, where his deepest insecurities live, where his grandest ambitions dwell, and where his most intense experiences and unspoken desires reside. It's in that intimate and often chaotic mental space where you can enter if you master the art of emotional communication. Carl Jung constantly reminded us that to change what we attract, we must first shift the energy we project. And this principle applies perfectly to romantic connections. Let me share something that is rarely explained with such clarity. A man can give himself physically to many different people, but emotionally he opens up only to the one who touches something beyond his surface. That's why, after a truly intense connection, he won't remember so much what you did, but rather how you made him feel. That, my dear, is true influence. That's what makes him think of you even when you're not physically present. Moving beyond frustration, if you've ever felt frustrated because you give so much yet receive so little in return. If you feel like you're doing everything right but still can't get that special someone to truly commit, then you don't need to change your appearance or become more accommodating. What you need is to learn how to connect with his mind before his body, to venture into his inner world, a world that few people dare to explore, but you can do it. Throughout this guide, you'll not only discover how to awaken someone's deepest interest without relying on physical attraction, but I'll also share practical examples and exclusive strategies that you can use in your very next interaction to become truly unforgettable. This isn't abstract theory. It's psychology applied to relationships from a conscious, feminine perspective, inspired by the principles of emotional transformation that have been proven effective time and time again. Understanding the male mind, there is a powerful reality that few people accept because it challenges everything we've been conditioned to believe since childhood. The male body is not the point of deepest connection with you. It's not his most sensitive part, nor the one that creates the strongest emotional bond. His true desire, the one that drives him forward, the one that has the power to transform him completely, is born in his mind. Yes, that inner universe filled with thoughts, expectations, hidden fears, silenced desires, and fascinating contradictions. That's where true emotional alchemy happens. Once you understand how his mental world operates, everything becomes crystal clear. You no longer need to compete with anyone or exhaust yourself trying to be someone you're not. What you're doing instead is cultivating genuine emotions, awakening natural curiosity, and generating desire from the invisible realm of authentic connection. And believe me when I say that this kind of connection leaves an absolutely unforgettable mark on someone's heart and mind. The difference between attractive and unforgettable: there is a huge difference between being physically attractive and becoming truly unforgettable to someone. Anyone can catch his attention for a fleeting moment, but only someone who stimulates his imagination, touches his emotions, and fulfills his deep need to feel valued and genuinely admired will remain permanently in his heart. Carl Jung said that everything we give out into the world returns to us multiplied. And when you offer authentic presence, genuine authenticity, and confident feminine energy, it comes back to you transformed into real, lasting love. 3 powerful connection strategies. Now that you understand that the mind is the true center of desire, knowing this isn't enough by itself. What truly matters is how you use this knowledge to your advantage. This is where most people completely go off track. Some believe it's enough to give generic compliments or repeat phrases like, "You look great today," but that doesn't touch anything deep within a person's psyche. What really activates genuine interest is your ability to play with his imagination, create healthy emotional tension, and leave him with thoughts he simply can't stop thinking about. This is accomplished using 3 subtle but incredibly powerful tools. If you learn to use them with grace and authenticity, you'll become absolutely unforgettable to him. Strategy 1. Words that paint mental images. The first way to connect with his mind is through words that paint vivid images in his imagination. We're not talking about empty pickup lines or recycled romantic cliches. We're talking about subtle suggestions that, without being explicit, spark an entire narrative in his mind. For example, instead of saying something direct like "I'm so attracted to you," try something more intriguing like "There's something about you that makes me think thoughts I probably shouldn't be thinking." Do you see the difference? You're not giving everything away directly, but at the same time, you're communicating everything that needs to be communicated. He becomes the one who fills in the blanks with his own imagination. And that's the absolute beauty of this approach. You're not laying everything out explicitly, but instead letting him imagine, wonder, and desire more. When a man starts building mental stories that feature you, you stop being just another woman in his life, you become his favorite ongoing story. Strategy 2. The power of strategic silence. The second way to connect with his mind is through the strategic use of silence. It might sound deceptively simple, but it's an incredibly powerful psychological tool. We often feel the natural urge to fill every conversational gap with words, as if silence automatically means something is wrong. But that's not true at all. When used correctly, silence creates mystery, healthy tension, and genuine desire. Picture this scenario. You're having an engaging conversation. You lean in closer and say something bold, something completely unexpected, and then you simply go quiet. You maintain eye contact, but you don't add anything more. You don't explain yourself, and you don't backtrack on what you just said. That moment becomes absolutely magnetic. His mind starts working overtime, processing what just happened. He wonders if you'll say more, if you'll take action, or if you're simply savoring the intensity of the moment. That pause becomes the thought he can't shake from his mind for hours, or even days afterward. Carl Jung often reminded us that even what remains unspoken carries profound meaning. When you learn to trust the incredible power of strategic silence, you realize you don't need to convince anyone of anything. You just need to resonate with their deeper emotions. Strategy 3. Mastering the art of almost. The third way to connect with his mind is by mastering what I call the art of almost. What does this mean exactly? Not everything that begins needs to be immediately finished or completed. There's a unique psychological pull in what remains tantalizingly unfinished. It's that precise moment when he leans in, expecting a kiss, and instead, you whisper something intriguing in his ear and pull away with a mysterious, knowing smile. The kiss didn't happen, but it almost did. And that almost becomes completely unforgettable in his mind. Why does this technique work so effectively? Because he expected closure, resolution, completion, and instead you gave him a cliffhanger. You left the story open and unfinished, giving his mind ample space to imagine what could have happened, what might happen next. That's often infinitely more powerful than 1,000 physical gestures, because now he's captivated not by what actually happened, but by what he's still craving and anticipating. When you step away from the situation, he's not left with satisfaction, he's left with a hunger that keeps growing. The science of emotional hunger, and that's the real secret behind lasting attraction. It's not about satisfying someone immediately and completely. It's about creating emotional hunger, about becoming that persistent, pleasant thought that lingers in his mind even when he tries to distract himself with other activities. These 3 tools, the suggestive word that paints mental pictures, the provocative silence that creates space for imagination, and the almost that intensifies desire. Conventional pickup techniques that you'll find in typical dating advice. They represent emotional artistry, conscious feminine expression at its finest. Very few women use these approaches intentionally because they require genuine presence, inner confidence, and emotional mastery. But if you're reading this guide, it means you're ready to stop being just another woman in someone's life and start being truly unforgettable beyond techniques. Authentic connection. It's important to understand that this isn't about having the perfect body, saying the most romantic line, or making the most calculated gesture. It's about learning how to slip into his imagination without asking permission, to touch emotions he can't control or fully explain. When you operate from this level of authentic connection, there's no more competition with other women. You're playing on a completely different level, in a dimension where the energy you naturally radiate speaks louder than any words you could possibly say. Carl Jung taught us that when we cultivate genuine self-love, it naturally reflects outward into our relationships and interactions. In that elevated state, you become naturally magnetic, unmistakably authentic, and genuinely desired. And here's the most beautiful part of this entire process. All of this power already lives inside you right now. You don't need to force anything, or pretend to be someone you're not. You just need to remember who you truly are. The transformation of self-perception when you learn to connect with a man on this deeper emotional level. You realize something that completely transforms the way you approach all relationships. You don't need more strategies or techniques to be liked or accepted. You don't need to pretend to be something you're not or hide aspects of your personality. You simply need to be fully aligned with your authentic self. And do you know why this works so powerfully? Because men may desire many different women throughout their lives, but they only truly remember one, the one who touched their soul in a way no one else ever has. This isn't about becoming some master of emotional manipulation or playing psychological games. Far from it, it's about raising your personal energy, learning to see and communicate beyond surface-level words, and cultivating a presence so naturally magnetic that it simply can't be ignored. Exactly as Carl Jung taught throughout his work, when you learn to love yourself deeply and authentically, you raise your personal frequency, and with it, the quality of love and connection you naturally attract into your life. Practical application in daily interactions now. I want you to reflect deeply on this fundamental truth. Every single conversation is a golden opportunity. Every glance exchanged is a potential bridge to deeper connection. Every moment of silence carries its own meaningful message. When you speak with him, make an effort to listen beyond the literal words being said. What is he holding back from expressing openly? What emotions is he containing or suppressing? What fears might be hiding behind his confident exterior posture? Men, even if they don't openly show it, long to feel genuinely understood too. They want to be admired, truly seen, and valued for who they really are as individuals, not just for what they've achieved professionally or materially. When you can truly perceive and appreciate his inner world, not to fix or change it, but to accept and honor it, he experiences something incredibly rare in his life: deep, emotional serenity. And there's absolutely nothing more attractive to an emotionally mature man than a woman who brings him this kind of peace without losing her own spark of mystery and intrigue, building respect alongside desire. But here's something even more powerful than just awakening his desire. You must also earn his genuine respect, because when a man truly respects you as a person, he doesn't play games with your emotions. He doesn't question your worth or offer you mere crumbs of attention. A man who genuinely respects you wants to make you feel safe, valued, and important in his life. To reach that level of connection, you must first clearly define who you are as a person and how you deserve to be treated in relationships. It all starts with you, with your personal energy, with your healthy boundaries, with your ability to confidently say this is a yes and this is a no, from a place of authentic self-love rather than fear or insecurity. The courage to leave a mark. Here's another essential truth that many women struggle with. Don't be afraid to leave a lasting emotional mark on someone. Sometimes we think we need to keep interactions light and superficial, not go too deep emotionally, not show genuine interest, because we're afraid of scaring someone away. But true magnetism doesn't come from hiding your authentic self. It comes from revealing yourself with grace, confidence, and emotional courage. You are not here to beg for scraps of attention or settle for lukewarm interest. You are here to create meaningful experiences, to be that truly unforgettable woman who touches someone's life in a profound way. Why? Because you had the courage to touch something no one else dared to explore. His most vulnerable emotional dimension, his deepest human needs for connection and understanding, questions for self-reflection. So, the next time you share a meaningful moment with someone special, ask yourself these important questions. Am I seeking external validation, or am I expressing my authentic truth? Am I desperately chasing a specific reaction, or am I leaving a genuine emotional impression? Am I acting from a place of fear and insecurity, or am I operating from my personal power and confidence? The honest answers to those questions will determine whether you become just another fleeting memory in his life, or an absolutely unforgettable presence that changes him forever. The foundation of self-worth. And never forget this crucial principle. What you attract into your life is directly connected to what you believe you truly deserve. That's why working consistently on your self-worth isn't just a minor detail in your personal development. It's the fundamental foundation of everything else in your romantic life. As Carl Jung wisely said, self-love is the greatest gift you can possibly give yourself. From that solid foundation, everything in your life begins to evolve and improve naturally. So celebrate yourself daily, respect yourself consistently, and love yourself unconditionally. Because the more you do this inner work, the more you'll attract people who see your inner light, not just your external reflection. The energy shift from the moment you stop seeking externally what can only be built internally. Your entire energy begins to shift dramatically. The most extraordinary part of this transformation is that you don't need to announce it to anyone or declare that you've changed. It's simply felt by everyone around you. Men notice this shift even if they can't logically explain what's different about you. It's something that radiates naturally from your being. It's your new, elevated vibration. It's a calmness that seduces, a presence that positively unsettles those who were only prepared for the previous version of you that no longer exists. Conclusion: your natural power riff. You've made it this far in this comprehensive guide. All I can say is thank you. Thank you for giving yourself this valuable time, for allowing yourself to listen deeply, reflect honestly, and open your mind and heart to a completely new way of connecting with others. If something I've shared today resonated with you, if it made you feel seen, understood, or simply left you thinking about relationships differently, then this entire experience was absolutely worth it. Always remember this fundamental truth. Your value as a person is not measured by how much others desire you, but by how deeply and authentically you respect yourself. When you begin to relate to others from your inner power, from your authentic self, from that deep self-love that Carl Jung spoke about so eloquently, not only do you transform as an individual, but the way the entire world responds to you transforms. As well, you have more power than you currently realize. Not the power to control another person, but the power to guide meaningful connections from a place of emotional authenticity, from your centered, grounded self. That beautiful, unique soul of yours is something no one else can replicate or imitate. So continue nurturing that version of yourself who speaks clearly and honestly, who isn't afraid of her own intensity and depth, who leaves positive marks on people's lives without forcing anything, and above all, who understands that true attraction is not an external performance. It's simply a way of being authentically yourself. Because once you become the woman who knows how to genuinely touch a man's mind and heart, you no longer need to raise your voice to be heard or run after anyone to be followed. Your presence alone is enough. Your authenticity is more than enough. And that precisely is the kind of elevated energy that transforms superficial encounters into unforgettable, life-changing experiences.